Hi everyone, this is Ronnie, and this is just a short video, and this is something that annoys me so much, right? And on the UK Fruit Fest forum, I put up this poll of different things we might do in the future, like courses and events and stuff, to see what might be of interest to people. And someone added to the poll. This guy added to the poll for some reason, real fruit, not supermarket fruit. And I don't know if he still watches my videos or whatever, but he's always been going on about how everyone should like go over to Thailand or whatever and get real fruit and not have fake supermarket fruit or whatever nonsense. I was also in a conversation yesterday with a lady who, is eating a terrible diet, right? She's got high blood pressure. She's got the high blood pressure diet, and she's going on about how the fruit in the supermarket isn't any good and it's this and that. All the conspiracy theory nonsense that a lot of you have bought into. You know all that nonsense? That total nonsense that you bought into. Fluoride in the water, chlorine in the water, whatever, all that nonsense. You bought into all this stuff instead of focusing on the real thing, which is to change your diet. And yes, eating fruit is better regardless of whether it's conventional fruit or organic or from some amazing little farmer's market somewhere or whatever nonsense. The fruit in the supermarket is superb, fantastic. If you don't get that, you just don't understand what you're talking about. You're probably still eating processed food, junk food, sugar, all that crap. You're probably still eating all that stuff, and you really think that there's some fruit out there that's going to be more intense in flavour than drinking Coca-Cola or all the other stuff that you're still consuming. So if you still think and like admit it to yourself, admit to me you have, like this lady was like, I never have any sugar. Rubbish. Like, she's total nonsense. But she's saying to me she never has any sugar. This is what so many people do when I try and like have a truthful conversation with them and try and get them to understand their blocks towards actually doing the thing that's healthy. She was talking about, oh, it was a lot of nonsense. Anyway, so and the fruit in the supermarket, wherever you are, is often fantastic. You just don't know how to pick it. You just don't know what to pick. So I get it. If I go over across the supermarket and I just get some plums or something, or if I was to get some berries that are kind of out of season right now, and they're probably, I don't know where they come from, certain things, it's not going to be that good. It's not going to be that good. But there's lots of great stuff over there that I'm going to choose. So I'm going to choose the good stuff. I'm not going to try and force myself to eat things that aren't in season, don't look good, aren't going to ripen. I know that stuff's not good. I get that, but that's not everything. So, but here's the other thing, is this delusion that you've got that there's some fruit out there somewhere that's so much better. You know, that there's some farmer's market, there's some little special farm, there's some little special place, and maybe there's people that grow their own fruit that have got some good stuff. And maybe there's a few parts of the world with some nice farmer's markets, but believe me, it's pretty much all the same. Like, I just don't, I don't get it. I don't get the hype about all these places. I've been to, as a raw vegan, I've been to loads of places. I'm just as happy here as anywhere else in terms of the quality of the fruit. The difference is my mindset about it. The Okanagan in Canada, that's a great place for fruit, for sure. And there's a place called Robert is Here in southern Florida. It's like that's a really great fruit stand. But it's fruit. It's not drugs or alcohol or cigarettes or something. It's fruit. It tastes like fruit. Fruit is fruit. It's not some kind of magical psychedelic thing, you know. So people will talk about Thailand. Yeah, there's some durian and things that are nice, and there's some jackfruit and stuff like that. That's all good. But fruit is fruit. Like, the idea that you think this, I don't know, it just frustrates me that people put these blockages on themselves and say, well, I can only go raw if I'm in some magical place in Borneo, and then I get the real fruit. And you're like, shut up. Like, just shut up. Like, you just can't do this lifestyle then. If that's the case, you're still addicted to junk food. Just admit that. Just say that. That's fine. But I'm not. So I'm happy to buy from Walmart, Tesco, all these places that are nearby, lots and lots of people, whatever the equivalent is in Canada. Can't quite remember. I think they've got Walmart in Canada as well. The you know the places in Italy and France and Germany, Slovenia, whatever. Now, there might be some other countries that don't have a lot of fruit, like some really poor countries or something, or I don't know. There's not that many, but there might be. I mean, people have said to me, what would I do if I'm in Africa? Well, I think they've got a lot of fruit in Africa, actually. Right, so I think fruit is still like the cheapest food to get there, because so you can get it off the trees. But this delusion that people have, oh, and if I go to this person's garden and it's just the best thing, and then if I had the supermarket, like, shut up. Like, you don't eat enough fruit to even know what you're talking about. That's really the problem, is that people are like judging the fruit that they don't even eat. And if I was to pick it for them and do a blind taste test, they would have no clue. You would have no clue. You can't tell. And this is the other thing. All those people are like, and when I have the grapes with pesticide, I can tell the difference. No, you can't. You cannot. You're talking about different varieties of grapes at different stages of ripeness. This is what has an effect on the flavour. Not anything to do with pesticide. And I'm telling you, a blind taste test, none of you will be able to tell the difference. If I picked you some fruit from supermarket fruit from some of this, you'd probably pick the supermarket fruit over it. You'd think it was better most of the time. So I just, as you can tell, it annoys me. And it annoys me because it's not true. It annoys me because it's what people say to each other to justify their unhealthy diet. And she was saying a lot of weird stuff, like when she goes to some other place, she was talking about fish and chicken. I'm like, well, obviously you're on the high blood pressure diet, of course. You obviously want to keep it. But you're on this high blood pressure diet, and she was talking about how the chicken in some other place was so much fresher, or the fish was so much. I'm like, it's different varieties of fish. And she was talking about the preservatives and that. Like, they put stuff in that to make it look good, to make chicken and fish and things look good. They add colour to it. They do, so people have bought into all this paranoid nonsense about fruit, like all our fruit's being injected with syrup and injected with colouring. These are videos you've seen, memes you've seen online about something that maybe happens somewhere in Bangladesh or something. This is not happening in your local supermarket fruit, most of which is from the EU if you're in Europe, not from Tajikistan or something. So you have to learn, if you want to get healthy in life, if you want to have any chance of being healthy, you have to be able to be anywhere and eat the diet that you want to eat, and not just fall back to eating junk food. Oh, well, the fruit in the supermarket isn't good, so I'm just going to eat junk food. I might as well. Like, what kind of argument is that? What kind of excuse is that? So, number one, the pesticide issue is a non-issue, a total non-issue. It just annoys me, all the conspiracy stuff. People that go on about the farmers, like they're doing all this evil. Like, go to a fruit farm and meet a farmer, and stop thinking it's all these evil people that are like trying to put, they're going to put this pesticide. They don't want to put pesticide on anything. They don't want to spend the money on pesticide. Don't be silly. Like, everyone needs to grow up a little bit and stop being in this little conspiracy ball. Go and speak to a farmer. Go and meet them. Go to a farmer's whatever conference and see. I bet they've got all sorts of. They go to presentations and they learn stuff about how to use less pesticide, or maybe no pesticide, or how to improve their soil, and all the different things they can do, all the new innovations with soil and with farm management and land management. You think that these are just dummies that are just throwing some seeds out there and maybe some fruit grows, and then they spray it all for no reason. Change your mindset. Be grateful. That supermarket you've got, you have to find the good stuff. But by the way, bananas are always good. I just want to say that. Bananas are basically always good. I almost never find grapes that aren't good. Most of the citrus is pretty good. Mangoes are a little bit hit and miss. Stone fruits can be a little bit hit and miss. There's stuff that's hit and miss. Berries are usually pretty good. Blueberries are happening right now for some reason. Pineapple, a little bit hit and miss, but mostly good. And apples, a little bit hit and miss. So everything's got its own little thing. Persimmons, almost always good. There's some things called Triumph persimmons if you're in the UK. If you're in the UK and you're complaining about your fruit quality and you've not found the Triumph persimmons, then you're just not trying. You're just not trying. The Triumph persimmons in Tesco right now are a better fruit than most of the things that you'll get if you travel to the tropics. Absolutely 100% guaranteed. 100% guaranteed. But yeah, everyone's got these fantasies of some other place they were. When they were younger, the fruit was better. When they were somewhere else, the fruit was better. Blah, 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 the fruit was better. No, no, no. You have to live in the moment and get rid of your junk food addictions and move towards a healthy life and stop pretending that it's the farmer's fault you're not eating fruit, or it's the pesticide's fault you're not eating fruit. It's the supermarket's fault you're not eating fruit. It's someone else's fault that you're not eating fruit or a healthy diet and lifestyle. You know, or it's not got enough sugar in it, and then if it's got too much sugar, and that's going to affect my diabetes or whatever. You know, it's like everyone's got an excuse around fruit. Everyone's got an excuse why not to eat the healthiest food, because they want to eat something stimulating and addictive, because we just can't help ourselves. So anyway, that's my message for today. Stop with your excuses about supermarket fruit. I love supermarket fruit. I love it, every single one of them. Sainsbury's, Tesco, Asda. I want to promote them all. I want to get them all selling more fruit, bringing in more fruit. Every year the fruit gets better. Every year the fruit gets better. Every single year. And if you think you'll be raw somewhere in the farm stand out in Thailand, you won't be. I'm telling you, you'll be trying to find somewhere that sells rice or something. So anyway, thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.